Hi, welcome to my vlog. So today I'm going to be interviewing a former ELL. Her name is Anna Gonzalez, and I'm just going to be asking her some questions regarding her second language and some of the things that she might have struggled with or excelled with when learning a second language. Okay, so I have Anna here, and we're just going to go ahead and get the interview started. So Anna, what is your first language?
My first language is Spanish.
Okay, and so where did you live before you moved to the United States?
I lived in Mexico in a city called San Luis Potosí.
Okay, and how old were you when you moved to the United States?
When I moved here, I was 4 years old.
Okay, so did you experience preschool whenever you were in Mexico?
No, I did not go to school there.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I just started school here. I didn't attend pre-kindergarten though. I just started off with kindergarten.
Okay, so but you grew up speaking Spanish primarily in your home, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, I was not exposed to English at all unless I was watching American television. But in my household, I always spoke with Spanish.
Okay. So, how do you feel instruction was for you in the United States in regards to schooling? How did you feel?
I felt like at first I was terrified because I was scared of. They immediately started teaching us like the ABCs in English as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of scared because some of the other students in the class would already like knew a lot, and I didn't because, like I said, I had not been exposed to English at all. So I was kind of terrified of being in school. But then once I got used to it, and then thankfully I had a teacher who spoke both languages, and the students all spoke Spanish and English, so they were all at least spoke the same languages as me, so I wasn't completely like alone.
So, were you in an ESL or ELL classroom?
I guess what they called it, I don't know what it would be technically considered, but I guess they called it a bilingual program.
Okay.
So basically, they would speak both languages.
Okay, that's what my next question was going to be. So did you struggle with anything specific in school, such as phonics or grammar, the way words are structured in English?
Definitely grammar was my biggest thing because it is so different. Everything's like put in a different order in English than it is in Spanish. So that has definitely been something I have struggled with, and to this day, sometimes I still struggle going back and forth from both languages.
Right, because you kind of have to rewire your brain to order words in English because it's so much different than how it is in Spanish.
Yeah.
So, did anything positively influence your language development that you recall? I know you stated that you had a teacher who spoke English and Spanish, and that you had the students in your classroom spoke both languages as well. So, I know that was a positive influence. Was there anything else?
That was definitely a positive influence, and also just the fact that, I mean, it might sound weird, but American television definitely helped me a lot. And the fact that I learned at such a young age, I feel like that definitely made it a lot easier for me to develop the English language, because I know later on, moving on to the upper grade levels, like I would have friends who were just coming in from Mexico at, like, let's say in 5th grade or fourth grade. They were just like getting here to the United States, and it was just so much harder for them, I feel like, grasping the language. Whereas for me, like, I felt like I picked it up a lot easier. Or even like my parents, like, to this day, they still struggle like with certain certain things with the English language. Whereas for me, thankfully, since I was exposed to it at such a young age, I felt like I was able to pick it up a lot faster.
Yeah. So having picked it up at such a young age and then having friends who came in or came to the United States maybe in fourth or fifth grade, like you said, did you feel like you were able to help teach them or help them along the way in their journey learning English as a second language?
Yes, for sure.
That's
because
awesome.
they would always like come to me for help, or they'd be like, "Oh, I don't know how to say this," and yeah, I was able. And since I knew both languages, I was able to like communicate with them to help them, as well as like help them out with anything that they needed.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that age has definitely, you think, affected the way that you were able to learn English and the way that your parents have been able to learn English. So do you kind of help your parents learn English, or do you mostly still speak Spanish at home? How does that work?
Both. I wouldn't necessarily say that I like help them. Like it's not like train them or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some people like do. They're like, okay, you're gonna learn.
Yeah.
But I feel like it mostly has been like their exposure to it. I feel like that was really like whenever you practice something so much, it kind of sticks to you better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you use it so much. So I feel like for them, it's just like they've mostly been exposed to it through like their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So because they've had to communicate. Like my dad, he does like basically like he's in the remodeling business, so he has to like talk a lot to other people that do not speak Spanish, you know, in order like to negotiate or to do this and that. So he's kind of been able to like pick it up from there. And same like with my mom, they've been able to like pick it up as to where now if I speak to them in English, like they might not be able to speak to me, like communicate with me back in complete English,
but they
definitely understand everything that I'm saying. Like they'll be like, "Oh, hey, mom and dad, this and this and this and this" in English, and they'll be like, they'll talk to me back. Maybe they might talk to me back in Spanish, but I know that they understood everything that I said.
Gotcha. And was there anything that negatively influenced your English language development that you recall?
Negatively.
Were there any obstacles that you had to overcome or that you faced during your English language development?
I mean, I guess the biggest one is like, I don't think like education-wise, I feel like thankfully enough, I was like getting a lot of support. But I guess in regards to education in general, like not having like parents who speak English definitely did have, I guess, kind of a negative impact. Like I was able to overcome it, I feel like.
Yes.
But it was definitely a challenge that other kids did not have to face. Like other kids that had parents that were able to understand their homework were able to get that extra support and the help at home.
Right.
I would come home with my homework and it was up to me to get it done. So it's kind of like an extra obstacle to go through.
Gotcha. And has learning English influenced your outlook on learning a second language? And if it has, could you explain?
Yes, I think, well, I don't know if I've ever had a different perspective, but since I started learning at such a young age, but
right.
I definitely think that sometimes I do things differently, maybe from another person because of my experience, and I feel like it's the idea that I understand where kids are coming from. I feel like sometimes teachers see students that don't speak, like, that don't have proper grammar, for example, and are like, and say the wrong words. I feel like sometimes they get frustrated, but I'm able to look at that student and say, hey, like, they're still learning, and I completely understand where you're coming from, because sometimes I have even gotten that confused, you know, where I have spoken exactly like you, so it's kind of, I guess, more of I'm able to put myself in their shoes now.
You're able to empathize. Well, that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you for answering these questions for me today.